is the Rebel Scum Podcast. Available in video on YouTube and audio wherever you listen to your podcasts. Every week, Brock and James talk the latest rumors, news, and theories from a galaxy far, far away. Support us on Patreon for exclusive offers and join the Star Wars discussion. Patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast. Here are your hosts, Brock and James.
You are always scum. Rebel scum.
Rebel Scum Podcast. Up in this B. I'm B. This is J. And this is the Rebel Scum Podcast. Hello, James.
Hi, Brock.
Whoa! We are in a post Andor Season 2 world.
Oh.
How has your life changed, James?
I got to be completely honest with you. During the course of Andor, my hockey team, the Toronto Maple Leafs, were in the playoffs. And within a week of Andor ending, the Leafs also ended their playoff run. And I'm going to be honest with you, in that 1 month, whatever it was, 4-week time period, I haven't watched that much TV in like a decade. And so I'm a little... I mean, I'd still love to watch both of them, to be honest with you, but I'm a little bit like relieved. Like I was in front of the TV today and I said, I don't have to turn you on, jerk. So I didn't turn it on. I read instead. And, but it was, it was a great series. Andor was. How's your life without Andor?
I was just like, screw it, let's rewatch it. So I started in season 1, and I'm like, wow, this show covers so much, but is like not a fast show. You know what I mean? Like it's just sort of like, wow, there's so much here, and like like I should have rewatched it before, or no, I don't know how to feel. Like I don't know if like I'm watching anything the proper way or improper way, because it's like whatever, season 2 is good regardless of like what you remember or don't remember, but it's like, oh yeah, they were talking about Gorman well into the first season. I'm like, yeah, but like I love it. And it's
you know what, I didn't even know that. Okay,
yeah, they do mention it a lot. Like it, like they set up a lot of stuff that is a big part of this season.
Which makes sense because it's one giant, I'm still like, I wish this was a movie. I wish it was a movie.
Oh yeah. I mean, right. Go ahead.
Go on. No, you go.
I'm at the point where we're in the prison. It's like the episode just before they break out. So I'm like, oh man, I still have 3 or 4 more episodes to go, and what have you. It's kind of mind-boggling how almost non-existent Bix is in the first season. Like it's like, oh right, they weren't even in a relationship. That's why I kept thinking she was his sister. And then the next season started, I'm like, what? Like, oh right, that's not right at all. Honestly, and maybe this is worth a like real just like discussion at some point. I'd argue Bix is kind of not really vital to the show. She serves her purpose, but when you watch it as a whole, you're like, I'm like, what's the point? Like anybody could sort of fill that gap. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little too critical.
No, and I think I haven't rewatched the first season. I think I did see a couple episodes twice, but I haven't rewatched it in the last 2 years or whatever.
Yeah.
But my one issue with the second season was Bix. Like we talked about in the second last arc, where I was like, where was she? She had a drug issue, but not really, but kind of. Then she had her ending. And then the last arc, she's there with spoilers if you haven't seen Andor, just spoilers if you haven't seen Andor, I guess we should say. Yeah. But then it ends and she's got Andor's kid, and you're like, okay, that's great. But I felt like her character was like the first 3 episodes, she had like the trauma and all that, and it kind of bled into the second arc, but it was kind of on the back burner. I felt like her character, Yeah, on a show with very few weak links, I think she is the weak link because she is underutilized. I think there's like the idea of Bix is stronger than the usage of Bix.
Yeah. It's like it's interesting. I would say still works in a sense, but it's just like if we were going
Oh
to
yeah.
cut things from the show, like that would be one of them.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I was definitely expecting more.
I think we said at one point, like you and I think through text, it's like, what exactly would you need to do to turn this into a movie? Like the story is there, but you don't need all of this, right? Like
Hmm.
there's like I even think I said it's like this is a better Rebel Moon.
Which I still have not seen.
Mhm.
I for me, and I think I said this last week, so I'll sound like a broken record this last time. But for me, I would have, as you mentioned, Gorman's mentioned in season one. I would have 7, 8, and 9 would have been the movie for me.
Mm.
But in 7, 8, and 9, you'd have to add more. You'd have to add like the Krennic scene from the first arc about why Gorman's important. And you time jump in movies all the time without saying it's a time jump. It just is what it is. So you would start it kind of like, why is Gorman important? You have that kind of stuff, or you'd weave that in later on, like kind of explaining it. So I think that would be, of all 24 episodes that we've gotten, those three would be, I think you would make a movie out of that experience, and it could still
Yeah.
star Andor, right? Like it would still be like Andor, but this is the mission he was on before Rogue One. Because I love the last 3 episodes. Don't get me wrong; like the last
Yeah.
3 are brilliant, but those actually, when you think about it, those are more like that is kind of more television kind of stuff, like really strong.
Mhm.
But 7, 8, and 9, I think you pull any Star Wars fan, if they were like, that's going to be a movie, I think everybody would have gone in for it. And it could have just been a straight up prequel to Rogue One. They could have called it Rogue Zero, and we would have wanted to go see the Gorman, like, because it's all about getting this for what they need for the Death Star, even though the Rebels have no idea that's what's actually going on. So, maybe you combine the last 6 episodes into it. But I think for me, I don't know how you feel. Let me know what you thought. But like for me, if they made this a movie, it would have been those 3 episodes and just beefing up Gorman more the way they did in the show, but use what they used in the show in the movie and just flesh that a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't know, because it's just like there's so much covered, like I just said too. It's just like that you don't want to cut it, but if you're making only one movie, yeah, it's like let's just call it like the movie is going to be called Rebel Rising. So it's just like in the title, it's like this is about how the rebellion starts. Rogue One is about how they get the plans to the Death Star, and then this is just like how did it get there? How did they get on Yavin? Like I don't want to cut out season 1, but it's just like it's really just there to sort of introduce your characters. Like the real work, I feel like, is done in season 2, which sucks because like you get the Kino Loy character in season 1, you're like, oh
Great.
wow, this is so good. The acting, like I just rewatched that like basically in the last 24 hours, and I was like, damn, this is good. Like he's just like Andy Serkis is just acting circles around people.
He is an underrated actor, I think. I said this after I
time.
saw Black Panther. Yeah, I thought he was the best part of Black Panther.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he gets killed off like halfway through it. I was like, but you could use him in 20 more movies. And he's never used.
Yeah.
He's never used in anything. It's like Kino Loy was like even Snoke, underutilizing Snoke, what's his name? Gargamel's fine. But like Kino Loy, it was like he was chewing up the scenery, and you're like, he's really good. And like you said, he's acting circles around everybody.
Yeah.
And like, I can't swim. You're like, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
Not to spoil it, you haven't got to the episode yet.
But it's like and then the season 1 sort of like the Marva. I would argue like the Cassie and Marva relationship like is much more vital to everything else. Like forget the sister, forget Bix, forget any of his friends. It's like she is important to him, but also represents like the rise of this like rebellion. Like I don't know how you like. I feel like if you make this seems like it's a cop out. Like you could make this series into 2 movies, I mean, I keep comparing it to Rebel Moon, which is a real dumpster fire, but like what he was trying to do in that movie is basically uh, what is this show called? Andor does in 2 seasons. Like, yeah, so I don't know.
I think you could have done 2 or 3 movies. I think if you did 2 movies, it would be like your Rogue One trilogy.
Yeah.
And then if you're Star Wars, you're like, this is brilliant because now we operate in trilogies all the time. Just find a way to make Solo into a trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, no, I agree. I think they could have been 2 movies easily. Sooner Thrawn saying the heist from season 1 is too big to be not be in a film. I kind of agree, but I do feel like, and I haven't seen it in a while, so you can correct me on this because you just been watching it. But season 1, from what I remember, felt more like a television show. And I don't mean that like it was shot beautifully, like it looked like a film, but I think the way it was structured, it felt more like something you would watch on TV than this season felt more, because of the 3-episode arcs, especially, even though that season does it. So maybe I'm wrong, but this season, the 3-episode arcs felt more film, like more theatrical than last season. Last season's felt like they were great, but they didn't have that, like, oh, I wish this was in the theater. I wish a movie was shot like that and I was watching it in the theater, because I still think season 1 has my favorite cinematography. I have to rewatch both of them, but season 1 and the season 2 looks phenomenal. I'm just also not saying that. It's just season 1, especially the eye episode, it's so beautifully shot. It's just like, gosh, darn it, like it's just so well done. So I don't know. And this is I love talking about this because I love movies, but they decided to make it a TV show. It is what it is. At the end of the day,
And
it is what it is.
I think it flourishes as a TV show because it's like the Luthen Clea storyline in the last 3 episodes is great, but like, it's not really a movie. Like, I mean, maybe
that's the thing.
I guess, like you could kind of. I mean, this is not a movie either, but it's kind of like Last of Us. It's like a young girl and a grizzled old man find each other.
I can't talk about that show, Brock. I just cannot talk about that show. Aaron's like, let's watch it. I turn it on and I'm like, I just don't know. It's just doesn't captivate me.
It's basically the Mandalorian storyline. It's like I don't know if it's that captivating. It's Road to Perdition. It's
Well, I'm not going to talk about Last of Us, but it is. Yeah, I mean, they're all the same thing. But like Mandalorian's a TV show. I mean, season 3 should have been a movie, or should have been one movie or something.
Don't get lost in the sauce, though. Like what I was saying is, like, I don't think you do. You have that storyline of Clea and Luthen is a good end to that, but at the same note, it's like it's not that vital. It shows you how important it is that what they're doing and how they are important to the rest of the rebellion. But like, we could cut it. It's like it's better to be in a TV show and it exists. And you're like, I accept it the way it is.
I think that episode where Luthen dies might be my favorite episode of Andor. Might be. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah.
But I completely agree with you. It's not a movie. It's a TV show. Whereas 7, 8, and 9 is a movie. Like 7, 8, and 9. Like if you watched that in the theater, we all would have been left like, that was fantastic. Like everybody would have like that. That is, and as we're spitballing here, I just had this thought because Tony Gilroy, I guess, is done with Star Wars. Maybe he's done with Star Wars. Look, man, you pull up that Brinks truck, he might come back for Star Wars, and everyone's like, I want him back. But I think he only works in like a specific like area within the Star Wars world, right? And that is this grounded part of it. I mean, as grounded as Star Wars can get. I don't know if he necessarily wants to deal with Jedi and all that stuff, but how would you consider this? And let's take this to the chat as well. Chat and anybody watching in the comments, comment this. How would you feel if they did a movie and they because now I think movies are the thing now, but they're like, hey, Tony Gilroy, here's $400 gazillion. We want you to make a movie about the rise of the First Order in some capacity. I don't know what it doesn't have to be like, oh, look, Snoke and all that, but like something, maybe how the Resistance, how they found out about them, like something like that. Would you be down for a Tony Gilroy movie, not show, movie about that?
I think so. I mean, on this show alone and the movie, it's I'm psyched to like get through season 2 and then watch Rogue One and just be like, watch it as an entity. I think come on. Like, what's his face? George Lucas made the same movie over and over again. Like, why wouldn't we say yes to Tony Gilroy making a new version of something he's already done? Or like, maybe it's not a new version of something he's done. It's like, we know what you are good at. So like, yeah, if it's a similar kind of idea, cool. Like, maybe it might be really cool to watch because it's like, here's like the explanation of how the First Order starts. But also, if you watch this in tandem with Rogue One, you'll see a cool artistry of some sort. You know, like, like I can see that something. But yeah, no, it's a no-brainer. It's like, you know, he's good at it. You know, the Gilroys can like whip you up a decent Star Wars thing, whatever you want to call it. Why not? Let's go.
Yeah, no, I just while we were talking, I just thought of it. I'm like, man, that would be fantastic. Because we always talk about how like Filoni and Favreau might be doing that for the sequel trilogy with the shows, what they did with Clone Wars and stuff like that. And it's like, man, wouldn't it be great if we did that? Because one thing Andor also, I think, showed online, especially, was a lot of people who kind of felt Star Wars was lost, Star Wars was this or that. Like people seem to love Andor.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's a funny thing too, because like Star Wars fans, I you brought this up. I don't know if you said it on the show or just to me, but like, you know, we're 40, 50 years old, whatever we are, Star Wars fans. And we haven't really grown up, but we have grown up. And so it's like there's like this confusion of what we want Star Wars to be almost. And it's like, is it for kids? But when it's for kids, it's not for us. But do kids even care about Star Wars anymore? Or is it just for us? So there's like a lot of like that going on. And I just think this was like a nice breath of fresh air that kind of went in. And I'm glad we got it. I would love more of it. But at the same time, I love Mandalorian and all those. And I don't know if I prefer one to the other at this point. I mean, I probably Andor is more just visually. It just is so, you know me. I like the visuals, but like, I would love to see them kind of do that. Like they're like, hey, remember the goofy stuff with Jedi and stuff? Here's a serious take that you know without Jedi that really shows you what was going on, the nitty gritty of the galaxy. I think more of that would be great to see. But at the same time, we need. I don't know. It's Star Wars. You got to bring in the Jedi stuff, like in other projects.
I think it's like one of our issues. Maybe it's, I don't know if it's our age demographic or it's society or like the Star Wars viewership as a whole. It's like, I think we just need to understand it's okay if something's not for you, right? Like, it's like people not everybody likes Skeleton Crew like we did. Not everybody likes Acolyte. Like, you know, and you always love saying, it's like, I'm the only one that likes Book of Boba Fett. It's just like
1 of 7. Okay. 1 of 7.
You can watch it, and it's like I noticed this with someone with Marvel. They're like, "Oh, I can't do the Marvel movies anymore," and they just said that. I think later on I brought up something. I was like, "Oh, I was going to tell." Oh, I think I was comparing the new Daredevil show to like the state of America right now. But he hadn't watched it, so I was just referencing. It's like, I know you don't really like Marvel. It's not your thing. And he's like, "Oh no, I don't hate it. It's just not for." I'm like, it's okay for something just to admit it wasn't for me. People like Anora, I watched it. I was like, cool. What is this movie?
Did people like Anora though?
Well, that's it seems like it was like one of the small darlings of it.
Yeah,
but yeah. The award-winning part of it is very questionable. But I just like, some people like that movie. I didn't. I'm not gonna get angry. Like, I tried a movie. Like, I'm a sucker where I'll be like, "Oh, these guys won awards. I'll watch it." Did I need to watch the Bob Dylan biopic? No, but when I found it on Disney Plus, I'm like, "Oh, I guess I'll watch it," and it was fine.
How many Bob Dylan biopics are too many Bob Dylan biopics?
Oh,
there's the question.
It's scary how many there actually are.
Do you know why I don't mind biopics, except for the fact that they're all the exact same? But one thing I can't stand about them is, well, you're going to get nominated. Shut up. Like, I'm just so sick of it. You know, if you do a biopic, you should not be allowed to be nominated because it's such a cop out. Oh, you did a great job playing the person. Oh, shut up. You know what? It's hard. Anyway, I don't want to get into it.
It's scary how many times I've watched. What?
No, sorry, I had nothing. How many times you
Oh,
watched what? Nora?
it's scary how many times I've watched the Motley Crue biopic. I don't know why. At
There's a
least 4 or
Motley
5
Crue
times.
biopic.
Yeah. Based on that, like semi-biographical book about it. It's on Netflix. I've
Amazing.
watched it a few
I don't have
times.
Netflix.
I don't know
I,
why.
look. I'm not actually against biopics. There's biopics I like, but I just feel like the last 20 years they've become paint by numbers. Like the Dewey Cox movie with John C. Reilly. You might think that's real because it's they played that to a T. Have you seen that movie?
Oh yeah.
It's not very memorable, but it does start. It starts off with Tim Meadows. He's like, wait, he likes to think about his entire life before he goes on stage, and then flashes back. I'm like, every biopic, it's like
Yeah,
starts
it's
off. Oh,
true.
we got.
Every biopic.
I'm sure it's great. Timothy Chalamet is a great actor. Terrible Knicks fan, but great actor. I don't think he's a terrible Knicks fan. Go Raptors.
Yeah.
Anakin Skywalker's joined us. Luckily, we're not children. We
Wow.
don't get slaughtered. The Dirt, is that what it's called? The Motley Crue?
Yeah, it's called The Dirt, based on a book called The Dirt.
I've never even heard of it. By the way, I canceled my Disney Plus. So
huge mistake. You should
they
be
didn't even give me.
rewatching it. You have to start paying real money like a big boy.
Yeah, they were like, you got to pay for it. And I was like, screw you, I'm not paying for this. And then when I canceled, last time I canceled, they're like, okay, you can have it for this price. I said, okay, this time, no deal. So I said, no deal, no James. I'm out of here. I honestly, I don't watch it. I watch Andor. I don't watch anything else on it. It's just a waste. So I don't do it. I don't have Netflix either. And you know what? I forgot I didn't have Netflix until I think yesterday. I haven't had it for like 3 months, and Aaron was like, oh yeah, we don't have Netflix. I was like,
Right on.
Let me go watch Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. Scooby-Doo 2.
Wow.
I mean, Andor was, I don't know. It's so good. I have to ask you this question. I saw several people mention this online. They're like, how am I going to enjoy Mandalorian and Grogu after seeing Andor? And I was like, well, by pulling up your big boy pants.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I'm like, what are you talking about? Everybody loves Grogu. Like, it's a different show. Like, it's just like you're gonna go watch it. Like, it's just like, get out of here. Yes, Andor is very good. Well, like my colleague at work has not watched it, and she's like, everyone's talking about it. Should I watch it? I'm like, yeah, you should. It's a decent show, and it's like works really well with Rogue One. She's like, is it fun? I'm like, no, not at all. There is a part in season 1. I was gonna screen cap it, but then Disney Plus, you can't screen cap things. But one character, I think, it's Perrin. He says he's like politics. It's long and boring. I'm like, that's basically the synopsis of Andor. It's not long and boring. It was like something long and like tragic or something like that. That's literally the show. It was just like on the note. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Andor. I have like no notes, but like, even though we're kind of trying to make a movie, but like, it was just like. There's a point where it's like, yeah, that's actually the description of what this show is like. Yeah. And it's it's a heavy, like I think I said, my wife was like, oh, is it dark? Like is it depressing like the first season? I'm like, yep, absolutely. I
think the Gorman stuff was fun. I liked watching them all get slaughtered. I like watching stormtroopers hit their target. I think
K2, it was fun.
K2 shows up. K2 is pretty fun. Like the last, K2's on screen, he's fun. Also, I read why K2 wasn't in so much. Gilroy said because once he's in it, that's kind of like he's the crux. Like he can't do anything to him. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. They really like had it together making this show. Like they had enough voices around, and apparently like he listened to the story group on stuff too, which is like as some people it's unheard of for them to listen to, but he did. And I think that's the thing, like, because he didn't know Star Wars, like he wasn't a Star Wars guy. He didn't know much about it. And I think one thing that was the strength of Gilroy was, first of all, his son loves Star Wars as well. So it kind of reminded me, like, he asked him about like where does the line come from? Rebellions were built on hope. His son said, "Are you going to acknowledge that?" And he's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, the line. And so that's kind of why they had the line. But it reminded me of Ron Howard and Solo, like going to his son, like, which villain should show up at the end of the movie? And his son's like, Darth Maul's sick. Go with Darth Maul. It kind of reminded me of that. But the thing that I think worked for Gilroy was because he didn't know Star Wars, he wrote like his strong story, but he listened to and respected the people that knew Star Wars, that he was obviously Lucasfilm surrounds you with. And like he took their observations and their notes, which I'm sure were just Gorman is the name of the planet you're on. This is what you need. And I'm really curious. I would love to. I wish they did the round table for this, because I would love to know the story of like Gilroy. Because apparently, like Kathleen Kennedy wanted to do this, and she approached Gilroy or whatever, and he's like, "Whatever, let's do it." But like the lack of Star Wars knowledge that he had, how do you come up with, like you say, like they're sprinkling in Gorman right away? Like he had to have had a meeting with the story group or whatever they're called now. I don't even know. But like the people with the knowledge, there had to have been like what was there a meeting there? And I always think of when I was a kid, when Star Trek: The Next Generation was out, I read or saw an interview or something where they said that the writers would write a Star Trek episode, and then there would be like whenever they needed to put in like a Star Trek reference thing, they would just leave it blank, and then like Star Trek story group nerds on site, they would write in like phaser and taser and stun, like whatever it was, and like the weird jargon that they would have. So it didn't. And I think that's brilliant. I don't know if that's what they did here or not, but like I would love to know the process of, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know Star Wars.
I agree.
Here's the story I want to do. How do we make it? Because just like the little things like Gorman, and then obviously Kyber crystals for the Death Star. There's little things that they need, and it ties in 2 years ago to season 1 to now. So I would love to see that round table.
Yeah, I think it would be. I mean, and then like you could just have a couple episodes, just like how they shot practically and all that. I was listening to another podcast where they were talking about Andor, and like I had no idea about this, so like I don't want to make myself sound like I'm an expert. Apparently, Gorman, or like the massacre of Gorman, was first mentioned in like a Star Wars tabletop game. Like it was like a Dungeons and Dragons thing or whatever. It was just in there like a blurb. And it's just like it's spiral. So like what you were just saying is like there must be somebody from a story group involved or a group of people involved, because they're like, use this. We'll do this, and then that'll be later. Because it's like, yeah, like who cares if Gilroy is a diehard Star Wars fan? He just needs to make sure the thing looks good. Like, and then we could do all the extra. Because like I was very aware of each credits, is like who wrote this and who directed this. Like it's a process for sure. So it's like, I don't know, what is Gilroy's actual
showrunner.
Like, he's showrunner, right? He directed Rogue One?
No. No. I think that's very iffy. I'm sure
I can't remember who
Dale
it
and Heidi will chime in the chat, but I believe it was Gareth Edwards. And I think Gilroy came in and like salvaged
fixed
it.
Took what
which
was
is
in
another
the
story,
like,
which is a story that I would love to know, but that's more negative. Like Gareth Edwards is directing what I will refer to as the movie of the summer, which is Jurassic Park, whatever the hell this one's called. But oh my god.
I know.
Every time I see something, I'm like, oh, it's like Al Pacino. They just say, pull me back in. God, bastards. I can't handle it anymore. I watched the trailer like 7 times yesterday for Jurassic Park. I'm like, Aaron, you have to see this. It looks like the greatest thing ever made.
I saw something for Jurassic Park today that I didn't have the audio for because I was working, and it was like
better that way.
It's like 2 people in like hazmat suits, and they're running out of a chamber, and one gets trapped in it, and then like a T-Rex appears behind them. Is that from this trailer, or is that something completely
different? The D-Rex, I believe, Brock. That's like an abomination that they created because
it looked cool. I was like, whoa!
It looks like, I don't know if you know this about Gareth Edwards, but there's like Godzilla with like Bryan Cranston's wife with that. Rogue One with the Death Star plans had that. Like he loves doing that. People stuck behind glass, about to die. Yeah, no, that's from this new movie. It's just like, I hate this marketing. It's like I'm like, I'm gonna buy it. And then if I go to Walmart and I see Raptor Doritos again. You know I'm gonna buy them, and it's gonna be steak flavor. It's gonna taste nothing like a steak or a flavor, and I'm gonna buy like 4 bags and just eat them in the theater with me.
Yum, amber flavored. Ugh.
John Cena's here. I didn't even see him. Peacemaker 2 looks great, by the way. Peacemaker season 2.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. That first season, like, again, I have my reservations about Tim Gunn? No, that's not right.
James Gunn.
James Gunn. Tim Gunn. Tim Gunn's a jerk. He's out of here. James Gunn. But man, like some of the stuff he touches is just like whoo. Peacemaker 1 has no reason to be as great as it is. So I'm psyched for season 2.
Yeah, I thought also side Akbar, but I thought dropping the Superman trailer and then the Peacemaker trailer was that order, because they did it in that order, and I was like, oh, that's genius because Frank Grillo's in both, and they kind of set up who he is in whatever at the Superman one, I think, and then they show him again the Peacemaker. So like now you're like, I saw both trailers, I know who that is. Like they don't have to explain it. I was like, that's kind of genius on the way they dropped those in that way. Anyway, we got to talk more Star Wars. All right, let's go over to blind rankings.
Blind rankings.
I'm going to give you characters and you're going to blindly rank them. Blind rankings, chat. Give me your rankings, but you got to be honest with it. You can't be like, wait till me to finish. You can't wait for me to finish. You got to say it while I'm doing it. These are Andor characters. We're going to blind rank Andor characters. Oh man, we haven't done this in a while. We couldn't do it during Andor. Those episodes would have been like 7 hours long. Like we were already like way long doing these things for Andor. Oh no, did I just? Okay, hold on. Oh, we need a number 2, I believe. How do I do this? 2. Okay. All right, Brock. I can't figure this out, so we're gonna. God. I'm like, I don't know. Did you ever watch the show Step by Step?
Absolutely.
There was an episode where they were in prison, like a cell, and Don Rickles was the cop, and he was typing with one. It always makes me laugh. Don Rickles, not Don Rickles, Don Knotts, Don Rickles. Very different community.
Very different, but like such a sign of like the 80s and 90s where like children's show had like Abe Vigoda and Don Knotts. It's just like we're selling you these like people that you do not care about and understand where they come from.
All right, we're going to start with Vel. Vel is the first one I'm going to give you. Vel. By the way, I can't see the chat, so if you want to see the chat and things going on, let me know.
No one's talking about that yet, so I'll chime that in. I'm gonna say 3. I'm gonna be crazy.
I had my cursor on 4. I was ready for 4. Let's go. The next one we're gonna go Marva.
Ooh, shoot.
And she was fantastic in the Super Mario Brothers movie. If you haven't seen Super Mario Brothers the movie,
I'm gonna gamble and put her at number 2.
She's an interesting character because I like she's not in the second season aside from the photograph. Right? She's not in it, but like huge impact on the show.
Yeah.
Luthen.
Oof. I'm gonna put him at number 1. I'm really not looking. People are just putting up characters with numbers, and like we haven't even said half of them.
No, that's not how this works.
This is not how this works. Desi puts Vel at 3, Marvin at 5. Sunatron says Vel 4, Marvin 5. Number 1, Luthen for Disney Desi.
Do you think Grogu was somewhere in these episodes? The next one I'm going to give you is going to be Perrin.
Oh, 5. Yo,
I like Perrin.
Sure, I'm not the great character, But like, I'm like, out of all those other ones, like, no. But like, did you see that thing where they're like, there was a deleted scene where he knew all along about the rebellion, and I'm
Okay.
watching it now, and I'm like, that would have been terrible.
No. It wasn't a deleted scene. There seems to be, for some reason, people can't read, Brock. This is the thing. What Tony Gilroy
Or
said
was
was,
it?
I had an idea.
Oh, an idea.
And he said,
Sorry.
and it was an idea. And he goes, but it never happened. It's my head canon now. That's what he says.
Yes,
But
he
people
did say
can't read.
headcanon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
people don't like to read, and they're just like, this was a deleted scene. And everything I see about this says deleted scene. I'm like, it's not a deleted scene unless there was a scene that was deleted, and there wasn't. There was an idea that was cut.
Yeah,
Like,
he
they
did
didn't
that
even
for
shoot it. So
a couple of things, I think, because I was like, wait, how did it go again? Because I remember it's like, oh, it's headcanon. So it's like, no, it's not a thing. And the other thing, well, there was something else. It was like, I think it was a K2SO as well. We like, there was a lot. I like that he talked about, oh, we thought about doing this. Or, oh, it's like,
yeah,
what
I love
about the what do you call him? The Cassian's sister. He's like, I thought about putting it, but it's like, but this is the explanation, and also whatever. I didn't put him in. I didn't put her in. So yeah.
So you got Luthen,
Edie.
Marva, Vel. It's
Oh, Edie Card.
yeah, and Perrin.
That was. I went with my heart and I won.
You can't, like, I can't give you the key character. Like, it's just not fun if it's like obvious. So we got to go that. Those are our blind rankings. Thanks for playing along, chat. You guys are the absolute best.
Yeah.
Sith or that.
Sith or that.
We got to run through it. This is gonna be a 6-hour podcast. Sith or that. By the way, all of our odds and our top 5 were given to us from executive producer Heidi. So just so you know. So also my internet, my Google Chrome, Brock, might crash out on me. Just so you're aware. I just got the warning. I'll give you time. Sith or that. And you sent me this, Val in Rise of Skywalker, or Rex in Return of the Jedi. You can only have one.
Oh, yeah.
Only one of those fan theories can come to fruition. Which one are you doing?
Val in Rise of Skywalker, because I don't know, you could still do stuff with that. Like, I think Rex is too niche character. Like, I mean, Rebels is very popular, but like, he exists in one part of Star Wars that probably not everybody. But like, when I saw that today with he's like, oh, that one blonde woman you see in all the sequels that kisses a woman at the end is like, that could be Val. I'm like, yep. Yeah, that sounds great. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anymore.
No, I'm with you. I agree with you on that one. We got Sunithron saying Rex and Disney Desi saying Val. And Rex would be too old to be with the rapping aging. But yeah, Heidi's going Val. I go Val as well because I think that makes sense. And also, like, Rex is Rex, and that's fine. But Val, she's just there. Like, what happens with Val? Now, it's not important what happens. Obviously, she fights for the rebellion, blah, 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 blah. But the idea that she would be around 20 years later or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah. I guess
30 years later. Whatever it is, right? I think it works. I think that's cool. I think it's a nice little idea. I don't think it would ever happen. They would ever consider that, but I like the idea. I liked it. All right, our next Sith or that, Mon Mothma. Would you rather have a Mon Mothma series or have Mon Mothma continue being a supporting character in more movies and series, whatever it is?
I think a supporting character, just because it's like, what else do we need to hear about Mon Mothma? But like, when she's on screen, you're like, oh yeah, she knows stuff. But like, it's just like, I feel like we've gotten that story, and I don't know. I mean, it would have been a little neat to see her more in like some kind of like battlefield scenario. She's basically just a person in a room. So, but yeah, no, supporting character, just because I love that character. I love that. Oh, I love the character, and I also love the actress. So, just keep dropping her. Make her the Nick Fury of Star Wars.
You can't, because the books put her in a coma for the first 15 years.
No one cares about the books.
Especially not the K2SO Andor comic.
Yeah.
Where Tony Gilroy was like, screw that.
Mhm.
He even basically said that. He goes, no. Which, people were getting mad at, and I said, I don't care. By the way, Dale has a cool theory here before I give my answer. Carrie in The Rise of Skywalker, or what's her name? The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Zori Bliss.
Zori Bliss, yeah.
Zori Bliss is Andor's sister. That is the movie I want Tony Gilroy to make next. I'm going to say Mon Mothma in more of a supporting role throughout everything as well.
Yeah.
I think she could carry the show. I don't know what it'd be about. I'm sure it could be a fun show. I mean, she was basically the lead in this. She was like a co-lead in this one. They need to stop naming these shows after characters, as I can't stop saying. And our final scissor that today is probably the most important one we've ever done and we ever will do. Your preferred droid of choice, B2 Emo or BB8. I didn't go with the classics. I had to go with the new Disney era droid. I was going to do Dio, but you know what? No one would pick Dio. So you got B2 Emo or BB8.
Hard. Because you know what is special about B2 is like he actually talks. Like you can understand it. Now, granted, R2 and BB8 and Chopper, you can't understand exactly what they're saying, but you can understand their emotions. The B2 character that can actually say things out loud and emote at the same time, it's very interesting. Like, especially like that's one thing I love about watching season 1. I'm like, oh, cool. He's really caring about this family he's part of. Also, he's slightly broken. It's like, wow, tell me more. And then to not have him in season 2 as much as we would have wanted, which it wouldn't make any sense. But like, no, I gotta go B2. Sorry, BB8, you are my guy, but I don't know. Like, there's something about a talking astromech droid.
Huh. I don't know who I would pick. I mean, BB8 kind of stole everyone's hearts, and I think we forget about that. But also, it kind of like faded away as the sequels went on, right? Like, I like the design of BB8 better, but I'm gonna go B2. I'm gonna go B2.
I feel like BB8, like getting around, is a lot easier than.
I love BB. I like the way he looks, but he kind of like B2 is just lovable. BB8 is cool.
Yeah.
Those are our Sith or That's.
Sith or That.
Sith or That. And now we've got some odds. Hold on.
Possibility of successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1.
Never tell me the odds.
Ever.
Never tell me the odds. Brought to you and me and everyone in the chat. Everybody watching at home by patreon.com/RebelScum. Rebel Puns Podcast. Rebel Scum Podcast. If you like what we do and you like to talk Star Wars, why don't you go and support us so that we can continue to talk about Jurassic Park when we run out of things to say. Head on down to patreon.com/RebelScumPodcast and support us and be one of the many few that we adore because they adore what we do. And those people are Heidi Feder, executive producer, Barry Brophy, Dennis Allen, Suna Thrawn, Randy Kenobi, Mary Kristen Aton, Dale Erdman, Phil Stanford, Rez, Scott D, Josh Price,
Matt W, Frank Perkins, Neil Lowry, Cosmic Girl 02, Gleek Play 1, Den of Nerds, Disney, Desi, Charlotte, Ron Prasak, and Jeff Wilson. Thank you everybody for your support. And now we're going to give odds, all of them brought to us by executive producer Heidi. I was going to write some and she just came up with these. So I was like, let's go with them. I haven't read them. I copy and paste blindly.
Nice.
From Heidi. What are the odds that a character in Andor besides Mon Mothma who survived the Andor finale shows up in the Mandoverse or other film or a series that takes place in a later timeline?
I'm gonna say anything is possible and go like 60%.
Yeah, it's a funny little thing. I think there's some untouchables. I really think Bix and the child are untouchable at this point.
Mm.
Unless there's something dire that needs to be told with them. I think that kid is going to be in a novel in 10 years.
Yeah,
I think
maybe.
we're gonna get a novel with that kid in 10 years. Um I'm gonna go like 75%.
Right.
I don't know who, but I don't think it'll be Bix. Um I saw Guerrero's off the table as well. But I'm gonna go 75%. Why not? Never tell me the odds. Again from Heidi. What are the odds that the main villain or villains of either the Ray movie or the Ryan Gosling movie are either Sith, Dark Jedi, not not a Force user of any other kind?
Probably high. We don't know what the Ray movie's about outside that it's Ray. And then Ryan Gosling could be anything. I'm gonna say 90% Ray, 65 Ryan Gosling. Because I feel
I
like
think
they're two different movies.
I think the Ray movie's got to have a Force user as a villain. The Gosling movie,
Right.
maybe not, but I think the Gosling movie. I'm gonna go low. I'm gonna go 13%. I think the Gosling movie will have a Force user as a villain, and I think Ryan Gosling will have the Force.
Hmm.
You won't find out until the third act. I have a source. My source told me.
Oh, yeah? What was that
Yeah,
source?
Ryan Johnson.
Oh, cool. Wow.
I call him Ruin, and he calls me fat bastard. It's a really loving relationship. I'm joking. It was JJ. Final hot today from Heidi. What are the odds we get a story about the Bothans who stole the Death Star 2 plans?
Oh,
Many Bothans died.
I've thought about this. It's just like, well, because remember the short time it was like, we'll get Rogue 2 at some point, and it'll be how the Bothans got the other plans. I don't think we'll ever. I think it's unlikely we'll get this story. So I'll say 25%, but I'll add on to it. I think it's 80%. We're going to see a Bothan at some point because I think that's something we all want to know. Like, I know there's a description of it. They're like lion looking characters, but yeah, I can't see them doing this type of story. Not in a show or movie, unless it's like mentioned later on. Like a comic book is like exactly where it needs to be.
I don't care for books or comics. That's an old segment we used to do. I want to see it in a show or a movie. I'm going to go full Brock. I think it's honestly, it's like, why not do it? I wouldn't make it like Rogue One, though. I would do it kind of differently. Like, I wouldn't make that the focal point of it. I would make that a side story in whatever the other story is that's going on that we're watching. And it's another way to bring in like Clea. You can have Clea and Velba. Like, you can have like characters that come back for that kind of story. And then while that's going on, they can be like, there's word that the Emperor is building another Death Star. Quick, Bothans, go.
Quick, Bothans.
It should all be puppets like Thunderbirds. That's what they should do.
Ugh. Those marionettes are a fever dream to me.
But Team America was brilliant, though. I love that part when he's like, when Team America runs out of bullets and the guy's like, let's make this interesting. And they have a fist fight, but the marionette's just like dangling. I've only seen that movie like twice in the theater. Like, I saw it in theater and then once on DVD. Don't remember much of it, but I remember the music. Those are our odds. Let us know what your odds are in the comments down below. Manuel Manny Bothans was a double agent with his boots on the ground, unlike nobody lies to the Bothans. That's why they sent them.
Okay.
What if Grogu led the Bothans?
Don't hate it.
I love it. I mean,
see, that's a genius move. It's like, just do a story with all characters that you've never seen in the original Star Wars, but exist in that timeline. So it's like, we're good. They don't need to be in the other movie. They're here.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, I like, because we're always like, well, where are they when this goes on? And Andor, that ending of Andor, the last 4-hour walk that he takes to his ship,
Mhm.
We said this last week, though. It perfectly summed up. You don't need to know where Wilmon is. You don't need to know where Val is. This shows you, like, this is where they are. This is where they belong. Like, it was so final. Like, it was definitive. You're like, I don't have any questions. I don't need to know where they are when I watch A New Hope. I know where they are. They're just not on camera. Like, I think it did it perfectly.
Yeah, I agree.
Hi, James. Hey, congratulations graduating preschool.
Oh,
great name.
congratulations, buddy.
That's so wizard. Preschool.
Wow.
I know. I didn't graduate preschool. They held me back. I'm still in it, technically. Top 5.
Top 5.
Top 5 K2SO moments.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm just gonna choose ones from this season of Andor. Because it's just like, okay, my number 5 is going to be, I don't understand humans after he tries to, like, isn't he trying to, like, poke him awake or something like that?
Oh, yeah. My number 5 is when he uses the Imperial as a shield.
Yeah.
4?
This season, like, just seeing those KX droids move around and throw people around, it's just like, whoa. Because it's like, it looks not real, because obviously it isn't, but it's like, it does make sense with their long arms and like how big they are. It's like, yeah, you would throw a person like this. It would look crazy because that thing doesn't exist as whatever. My number 4, because I don't want to forget it, will be the shield as well. No, that wasn't your number 4, it's number 5, but I'm gonna do that one.
Congrats, you're being rescued from Sudan. There's a guy
Yes.
complaining about Luke and Han getting medals after seeing Andor. People like to complain about everything. My number 4 is when he flicks the Imperial off the bridge. He just like
yeah.
So I think that was your 5. Yeah, that's my number 4.
It's like and my number 3 is gonna be my number 3 is gonna be, you know how many fractions we've broken? 17. And then like later on he says 18 when he himself breaks the rule. Like, I like that little thing where it's like, he's a droid and he's like, I just do what I'm told. But then he's friends with Cassian, and like, so it's just like, oh, we're breaking rules today. Like, I love it.
My number 3 is I find that answer vague and unconvincing.
That's amazing. My number 2 is gonna be when he like bends down and like Draven's like, droid, shut down. He's like, is he talking to me? And then he never shut down.
No, he didn't shut down. My number 2 is I'll be there for you. Cassian said I had to. Cassian said I had to. Alan Tudyk's got some good line delivery too.
I can't wait to get through season 2 and watch Rogue One again. Like, I'm so like hyped for something that I have watched already, and I'm like, this is genius. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And
do you want me to go number 1 first? Do you want to go first?
You go ahead.
My number 1 is, do you know how many rules we're breaking?
17.
17. 18.
My number 1 is gonna be he's a real boy moment where he becomes the good K2SO that we all love. And he wakes up and they're like, this could go really bad. It's like, well, he's like, oh, hello. Would you stop pointing guns at me? I'm like,
yeah, I love that moment. That was a great introduction to him too.
You don't need to explain why he acts this way. You just need to know we reprogrammed him, and now he is Alan Tudyk.
I wonder if that one was Alan Tudyk before, because the one that arrests Andor, or the one that's there, is not Alan Tudyk. If I remember.
Oh, yeah.
Those are our top 5. Let us do your top 5s in the comments down below.
Bless you. Bless you again. Sneeze. You'll love this if you're watching the video. You're still muted.
Gesundheit. Those are ours. This has been the 369th episode. 369. 69. We got 370 coming up next week, and we have a lot of excitement around there. Oh,
Yeah.
Sam Witwer voiced that K2 unit.
Nice.
And thank you so much. I'm wondering if, I don't know. We're all wondering if.
Oh, so when Heidi mentioned like the fact that in New Hope it's like they get medals while these other people are suffering around them. I was thinking about it today. It's like the real villains of Rogue One and like Andor is like Vader and the Emperor and Luke, Leia, and Han, because they're just like, we're having a great time and people are suffering constantly. Like people are getting tortured and massacred, and like Imperials are evil. It's like, and then like when they're evil, then they're just inevitably stopped because some bigger fish takes them out. I'm like, the real villains are like Luke. Like I feel like that's a comic book where it's like Luke Skywalker has ruined my life because he keeps blowing things up. I thought about it, I was like, truly, they are the worst in comparison to all the people that suffer in the show. You're like, yeah, screw those guys. Oh, you shot a vent. Congratulations.
You know what though, I will say this. I hope they don't, and they will make a comic or a book or something where they explain why they were chosen for the medals.
Yeah.
Just let it go.
Yeah.
Because that was the first movie that came out 50 years ago. And like, there was not a thought about any of this other stuff.
No.
They saved the day. It's a movie. I think we need to just like not worry about that. And also, who else are you going to give a medal to? Everybody else is dead.
Yeah.
Clea
Did you see the theories, speaking of Clea, that like Clea was supposed to be Leia all along, like, just like, and which like vaguely like, she looks like him. Like, it's like, I don't hate it. It wouldn't have made any sense, especially after the last 3 episodes. Was like, yeah, what if it was just Leia? Because she kind of looks like Carrie Fisher's. Like, wow, what if she was just doing it? But like, I think she's way too big to be hidden in plain sight.
I think you could have made that character Leia, probably in some capacity. Yeah. But I don't think it works if she's Clea. And I don't think that works. But I think
Leia.
Yeah, I think I don't think it works that way, but I think there is a way where they could have made that character. Like if they wanted that character to be Leia, they could have made that character Leia. But I don't. But that's one where it doesn't need to be Leia. Doesn't need to be really, and I don't think so. And then that also makes the ending of Rogue One not make much sense.
No, yeah, exactly. It's like, what are you doing here? I don't hate it, but at the same note, I also don't do it.
Cinetron's asking if to do a book on Clea and Luthen. 100% that book's coming.
Yeah, I think so. And they're running from zombies that are plants.
Plants vs. Zombies? I love that game.
I love that game.
I still play it. I'm like, yo.
Oh, yeah.
It's
perfect.
It's such a good game. Love it.
Alrighty.
Yeah, 369 next week, 370. I can't wait to figure out what we're going to talk about next week because we'll be even further removed from Andor. And no more Star Wars. All right, Brock, anything else you want to say?
No. Super psyched to continue watching Andor. And also, there's all these X-Men cartoons that they've dropped on Disney Plus, the other X-Men cartoons that have existed in the last 20 years that have been dropped the same day as like Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and the new season of Welcome to Wrexham. I'm like, let's go. I'm set. I'm set for a month on that streamer. It's gonna be awesome.
I don't know what you just said.
Perfect.
Thanks for watching. Chat, you guys were awesome. Thank you for all your support. Like, subscribe, hit it all. And until next time, Brock, you were always scum.
Rebel scum.
Scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.